It's that wonderful time again when a new release of FreeBSD is let loose on the world. And this version is 12.2. And what else could I do is but to load it up on the test machine and give it a try. This review is best viewed as an add-on for the one I did for 12.1. Here we are in the initial boot screen, and one thing I noticed straight away is an additional number 5 in the menu, which is for consoles, and it's reporting which console is actually being used at the present time and allow the user to toggle between them. I think it's to do with virtual machines, etc. It doesn't really seem to affect me, so I'm going to leave it at the default. Looking at the notes, it says, I think it's for the Beehive and VMware, so you can select the different consoles. Very nice. But apart from that, everything else looks the same, and I'll just, we'll start the initial boot process. Okay, well, actually we've seen this 1,000 times before, but I'll go through it anyway. So we get to the install, we've got the install shell and live CD. I'm obviously going to press install. Going to go down and select the UK key maps and continue with that and give it a name. In this case it's going to be test. Very original, but you know, it serves a purpose. I'm just going to deselect kernel debugs and put ports and source. In this instance, I usually go for auto UFS, but I'm going to choose ZFS. And because it's only got one disk in it, I'm going to go for Stripe. And we'll leave the rest at default. Yeah, it should be fine on default. I don't need to encrypt anything. And proceed. And yes. And there we go. Right, new password for root, and again select Ethernet and configure IPv4. Just going to put the machine IP in 130. I forget, I've got that many IPs, I forget which one's to a spare. Right, I'm going to put down a default router. There we go. Don't want IPv6, search LAN, put DNS router in, and as a backup I'm going to put Google. You don't have to, but I'm going to put it on this case. Time zone, UK. Skip and skip. And mouse header. Some of these I put in by habit. I really should try and learn not to put some of these in. And that won't do. Add users, of course. Put the name with this handsome chap in it. Full name with a capital C. Login group. Leave it at default, and I'm going to add wheel, operator, and video because I've had once, you know, it in case any troubles come up later. And password, super safe, and again, and that looks okay, and we don't want to put no one else now. And that's that for the initial install. Well, it's come to light that after release, the FreeBSD 12.2 release has an issue with several kmod packages that will prevent some users from getting FreeBSD to work with their systems running an i915 KMS, for example. And supposedly this is going to be fixed 3 months after the release of 12.2. So once 12.1 support has ended, then a fix will be put in place for 12.2.
The kernel packages are drm-FBSD 12.0-kmod, drm-legacy-kmod, and drm-kmod. So the best way to tackle this problem is to rebuild from ports. So delete the actual offending kmods, change directory into ports, and you can either use svn update, or if you're using portsnap, fetch update, change into the directory drm-kmod, and make install clean. Now I've not tried this. This is something which I picked up from some people who had come across this issue and issued a fix, so it may work or it may not. Right, jail has been updated to allow Linux in jail. Linux mounts enable variable added to rc.conf. devd has been updated to change the default resume notification. Cron has been updated to support 2 new flags, which can suppress mail and login on successful events. And DD has gained 5 new operands. Further details are on the actual FreeBSD release notes. Beehive updated to support additional AHCI. Host APD and WPA supplicant is updated to support 802.11 N, AC and AX, which means when the drivers come in it'll be better supported. Cert control has been added, syslog-d and mount-d and show mount updated. Sesutil has an option to allow more user-friendly output, and AMD utility has been marked for deletion, so if you use that it's on its way out. Right, we're going to try Lynis, and it's always useful to do this. I've just installed the system, so really we have to get everything going first. And once PKG is finished updating the database, etc., we can get into install Lynis. There we go. So I'm just going to search for it to make sure we got it in first. We should have. 3.0, I think that's one of the latest, or if it's just one revision behind. So we'll just pkg install Lynis. Oop, I've forgotten the command. Oh yeah, I remember, it's Lynis audit system. Okay. We're just going to let it run. And all done, and the result is 54. Okay, that's fine. You could look at the log if you want a more detailed breakdown, but just for now we'll just look at the number 54. So that's pretty good. Using a computer as a desktop is no good without an actual desktop, so I'm gonna load up a few ones that we can look at. I'm gonna load up GNOME 3, which is the latest GNOME 3.38, which I did a video back, a couple of videos back on that. And before we use GNOME, we're going to have to make some alterations to his FS tab, which I've already done, as you see down below. I'm just hashtagging them out, separating the sections as I like to do. Okay, so now we just need to configure an Xorg. Yeah, I still use Xorgs. I prefer to have a config file, in which case I can alter if there are problems. So having just done that, I need to move it to where I like to put the Xorg file. There are other areas, of course, but force of habit, I put it here. Oops. Yeah, spot the spelling mistake, so there we go. And now I'm just going to make 1 or 2 alterations to rc.conf. So I'm going to load up the Linux, the NVIDIA modules, and Fuse. Everything seems to be alright. and NVIDIA. There we go. And video mode set. Lovely, lovely. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to do a quick reboot, make sure everything's all settled up, and there we go. I've already installed SDDM, as you can see, and so we have a nice login screen. So the first one we're going to log into is Mate. And that quick flash was the vanilla desktop. I've altered it and added to it since to make it a bit more palatable. And now I'm actually installing some applications. I'll fast forward this bit because it did take a while. But as you can see, I'm installing some of what I think are some of the essential things that I use on a daily basis. Right. Okie dokie. If you look in the menus, it should repopulate obviously automatically, hopefully. And there's Firefox and Audacity and Kdenlive with no icon. Interesting. And there's the rest. So yes, I like Mate very much, and this is the latest version. 1.2.4, I think. There's Firefox. I always tend to get rid of this default opening page. There we go. Agree to that. And type in the best YouTube channel on YouTube, which is this one. Hooray! So yes, very good. Everything works alright, nice and speedy. Yeah, very good. We'll have a look next at LibreOffice. LibreOffice really is one of them applications which you really do need on a desktop if you're going to get any work done. I was typing hello, done this before. And there we go. So very good. So that's Firefox and LibreOffice. Everything's nice and fluid and smooth, as it should be really. What else can we put on? Inkscape. See, I don't want this to be a repetition of what I've did in a video or two back, but I just want to show you that FreeBSD is more than capable of running all these things. There we go. And yeah, and GIMP. It's quite quick. I didn't speed this one up. It's loaded quite fast for the first time running of GIMP. Oh, an update available. Very nice. I've never seen one of them before. Okay, very good. There you go. Picasso would be proud. And anything else we can add to it? We'll have a look at the system monitor. It's always nice to look at this. It's showing you 2.5 gigabytes, but I mean the thing is, it measures its memory in a different way than you would see if you just use plain top. And there you are. There's FreeBSD. Nice and fluid, nice and smooth. So we're using the latest Mate. Well, at the time of this video. We'll have a look at top. There you go. So the memory's not too bad, considering I've got them open applications. And using ZFS in the background is having no impact on system performance, as it wouldn't anyway. So very nice. We'll just have a look at some FreeBSD wallpapers, because the wallpapers that you get supplied by default on Mate are alright, but you know, there's no specific themed one which I like, so we'll get some FreeBSD ones on here. This is the one I tend to usually default to, but I do like it. It's nice and simple. So we'll just get this downloaded. And then we'll set it as wallpaper. There we go. Very nice. Another one is Gnome 3. We're going to try this one. Like I say, I covered this in a couple of videos back, so I'm not going to go into too much depth, but it's the, like Marty, it's the latest version of Gnome 3. See, FreeBSD is up there with all the latest cool kids. And in the case of Gnome 3, it did take a while, but yeah, we've got the latest now, so that's fine. It's all very smooth. I'm not particularly a fan of this interface, but some people like it. Have a look at Audacity. There we go, 2.4.2. And Audacity is something I use every day as well when I'm doing videos, so an essential tool. Right. Well, we've just been looking at the install of FreeBSD 12.2 on my test machine. And here we are on my main machine, which I upgraded a video or two back. And everything's been running smooth on this. I'll just put some music on in the background. You can't hear it, but I can. I like to work with a little bit of synthwave going on in the background. I've got Caden Live open. I'm actually editing this particular video that you're watching now. Very strange. I've got Audacity. I've got Inkscape. Editing the... well, it's going to be... Use it as a template. It's going to be the next thumbnail for this video. I'm going to alter it slightly. I've got Simple Screen Recorder running. Got OBS running with a webcam. Very nice. Hello. That's nice and handy. Oh, mind the pun. And so yes, everything's working nice and smooth on the main machine running 12.2. As it, you know, again, like the test machine, everything is just it's just working. So you know, I'm happy as all. We'll have a look at a scanner. I've just connected my scanner up, so and there we go. We're just going to take a preview. Everything's working there. Detects hardware, no problem. A lot of people do say they have trouble with FreeBSD and hardware, but it's like with Linux. If you select your hardware carefully, it will work straight out of the box. There we go. And all these applications is what I will use on a daily basis, and the machine, yeah. And the system is handling very nicely. And FreeBSD is, well, it's doing what it always does, and it handles them great. No complaints whatsoever. So yes, everything's running nicely. You've got Audacity, OBS. There's my little Behringer sound interface. It works like a charm. Absolutely recommended. And that too also works perfectly with FreeBSD. So everything that you could possibly want in a modern system, and we're not talking games here. We're talking mainly something like a workstation, you know, to get work done. Everything you could possibly want, and of course there will be exceptions, is available, and it works perfectly, flawlessly. At least it does for me. And I've been using FreeBSD long enough to know how you get around all the quirks and the little, you know, little nuances of getting it to run smoothly. You know, of course, your mileage may vary. It's wonderful for me. I really can't see what other operating system I would ever choose other than FreeBSD now. And you think, oh yeah, you're just a fanboy. But, well, I am a fanboy of it, but I'm also appreciative of it. FreeBSD 12.2 builds upon the success that they've had in the whole 12 family tree, really. It's super smooth for me. The install process on the test machine was flawless, as it always is. Installing desktops, not a problem at all. And even upgrading an existing machine, of course I backed everything up first, but upgrading an existing machine went smoothly, with no issues at all. I mean, I know there are some people who are encountering issues regarding the mods, the Kmods, which are built against an earlier version of FreeBSD, but, you know, it's an issue which has been ongoing for FreeBSD for a good few years now, is that you have to wait them 3 months. It's not ideal. You have to wait them 3 months while the 12.1 is deprecated. No more support. Then the new modules are built for 12.2. So it's not really good. I mean, I use NVIDIA whenever I can. So really, it's not an issue, but for me. But I can understand the frustrations that some people would have if they use, like for instance, the Intel graphics. But apart from that, I think it's a wonderful addition. There's no major surprises. There are obviously some incremental improvements, some additions to some configuration files, settings, etc. The network stack improvements are always welcome. We're just waiting for the drivers and that to come along for some AC, 802.11 AC. But yeah, very good. It's a welcome development, and so yeah, congratulations to the developers and everyone else involved. Another fantastic release for a super stable, modern operating system. Okay, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Well done if you've made it to the end of the video, and if you've found it useful in any way, then please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to make sure you don't miss future videos, then please click the subscribe button and the notification bell. This helps the channel grow so that I can keep on making content that helps the FreeBSD community grow as well.